You like it?
I like it. Yeah, I like it. I was literally crying. I was like, "Where's my chocolate? Where's my chocolate?" I read this on the New York Times magazine that the best chocolate you never tasted, and they refer to Vietnamese chocolate. Why did you choose mix mắc-khén and chocolate? Voilà, tôi là Huy Tạ và đây là một series podcast về ẩm thực, nơi mà chúng ta sẽ cùng với các khách mời tìm hiểu xem cách họ đã làm mới các món ăn như thế nào, những nỗ lực thay đổi định kiến về ẩm thực ra làm sao và họ đã thành công như thế nào. Xin mời. Mọi người thân mến, khách mời của chúng ta hôm nay là chị Linh, một người Pháp gốc Việt. Một người mà tôi đánh giá là cũng hơi khùng đi một chút xíu. Tại vì chị này cứ hay nói với tôi hoài là sô-cô-la cho mọi người. Thì tôi không biết cái này là như thế nào. Chị Linh có thể nói xin chào với các bạn được không?
Xin chào mọi người, tôi là Khánh Linh, tôi là giám đốc công ty The Cacao Project. Giấc mơ của mình là sáng tạo văn hóa sô-cô-la ở Việt Nam.
Ok, nghe nói tiếng Việt như vậy là chắc là biết nói tiếng Việt không đành rồi đúng không? Vậy là hôm nay mình sẽ nói tiếng Anh. Vào nha. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this before we shoot that today, Jilin and I are going to eat and going to drink a lot of chocolate. So if there's anything that's stuck in our teeth, please do not mind us. Okay, this is
Sorry.
this is what's gonna happen. Okay, what I see here is a lot of interesting things that's made out of chocolate. One of the things that I find very interesting is chocolate mắc-khén. Okay, would you tell me why did you choose to make, mix mắc-khén and chocolate?
Well, we wanted to bring something very typical, very specific, and that echoes with the Vietnamese palate.
Okay.
So we wanted to make something similar to the chocolate with pepper, but with a Vietnamese touch. So we chose a very Vietnamese spice.
Okay, but do you know that, well, in my own personal opinion, like mắc-khén is not, even for the Vietnamese, we're not really well known, we don't really like familiar with mắc-khén even, because it's pretty like sour, I think, right? It's a little bit, sour and a little bit difficult to eat. So is that like a bold move from you to mix it?
I mean, actually right now I see that we mix a lot of different ingredients with chocolate. So I think that indeed it's a little bit of adventure. We wanted to make something taste a little bit special. But most importantly, it was something very fragrant. The funny thing is that when we package the mắc-khén, we can recognize which one is the mắc-khén because it's so, it has such a fragrant smell, recognizable. So that's what we wanted. We wanted something that people can say, oh, actually, I only tried this here.
It's nice.
You like it?
I like it. Yeah.
How about the sour?
Surprisingly, not too sour. Right. When you bite into the mắc-khén, it's a little bit sour. It's crunchy at first and a little bit sour, but then the taste of chocolate just sort of, blend into it and make a sweeter aftertaste.
That's why we chose the milk, the milk chocolate to go with mắc-khén, so that it balances like the smoothness of the milk chocolate compensates for the the kick of the mắc-khén.
Yeah.
Actually, you should try this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you did say that these are something that you've tried before.
Yeah.
So I understand mango and passion fruit are like familiar fruits.
Yeah.
But this one is really special.
I'm really surprised with the mắc-khén though. It's not weird. It's not strange at all. Like I really like it. I really like a little bit crunchy from the spice itself.
Yeah, Can I borrow yours?
Yeah. No way.
Because so usually I will take a knife.
We can crack a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it has a little bit of paste custard in it.
Yeah, it's like it's.
This is milk chocolate.
This is white chocolate.
White chocolate.
So they call it fruit leather. So indeed, mango and passion have been blended before with chocolate, but I think this one this way is quite unique, especially that now like chocolatier, they will promote like very dark chocolate, oh, I do 70%, 75%, 90. But you can also, I mean, there's no shame in enjoying a good white chocolate.
Yeah, that's very different. It's making my mouth watering. That means it's nice. The sour is making my mouth watering. Yeah, I love this. Woo, love this.
That's my favorite, actually.
Yeah. Oh God. And so you use in your store, your shop, the cocoa project. You use a lot of cocoa, you know, from that is grown in Vietnam.
Yes, correct.
Okay. What's the difference between, you know, the cocoa fruit, you know, grown in Vietnam and in other countries, if you know, specifically?
So Vietnamese cocoa is very interesting and specific. It is rare. Like if you look at the global industry of cocoa, Vietnam is very, very small compared with West African country like Côte d'Ivoire or Ghana. Vietnam has the specificity of being grown in smallholder farmers with other kind of trees. So actually, we can say that it's grown in a more sustainable way than in other parts. Than in other parts of the world. Now about what makes Vietnamese cocoa special in terms of taste.
The taste, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of taste, it's, Vietnamese cocoa makes a specifically fruity flavor.
Fruity flavor, okay.
Fruity flavor compared with maybe, let's say, a nutty flavor from West Africa.
Okay. Is there a reason behind that? Do you know?
So there are many reasons affecting the taste of chocolate. So you would have the species of the cocoa. So you have like three. You have like three main species. So you have Forastero in Africa. You have Criollo in some parts, that is a very rare historical cocoa. And then you have Trinitario, which is the one that we have in Vietnam. That is a mix between the two. So first is the species. Then you have the soil, like it's the same thing as for wine, actually. You know, like different soil will give you different
taste,
flavors.
Flavor,
So actually, I haven't tried the experiment yet, but try bringing Vietnamese, let's say this type of cocoa tree somewhere else in the world, like let's say Africa. Probably the flavor will be different
for sure.
And then even in the manufacturing process, like this is also impacting, like how long do you ferment it, how long do you dry it, how do you roast it, so many factors affecting flavor.
You said just like you said, like Vietnamese cocoa has a lot of, you know, these amazing things, but why has it not yet known in the world map of chocolate? Do you know what I mean? Actually, what do you think is the reason?
So actually, you'd be surprised that in Japan, people appreciate Vietnamese cocoa. It's like a specific, new, unique flavor. So Vietnam is an origin that is sought after, except sometimes, more abroad than in Vietnam. I would say. Now, why it hasn't made a big step into the world, like Vietnamese chocolate, like let's say Vietnamese coffee has. Maybe it's because it's quite small compared with in terms of quantity. So it's not so much. It's more like a niche.
It's funny how you mentioned that there's a lot of foreigners that enjoy the Vietnamese chocolate, Vietnamese cocoa. I read this on the New York Times magazine that they have this title. It said that the best chocolate you never tasted, and they refer to Vietnamese chocolate, right? But it's funny to me how all the foreigners they valuing the cocoa, but the Vietnamese locals, like the Vietnamese people ourselves, we don't really recognize how good and how amazing it is. What do you think on that? What's your take on that?
My take on that is that Vietnamese locals in general, from what I have observed, don't really have an existing culture of enjoying chocolate frequently. So they're not like a frequent consumer. Like you know, a product like this in Europe, like people, they can eat twice in a week. Like they have it in their cupboard. Like they feel depressed, they have one. They feel happy, they have one. They want to start the day, and they need to, you know, have something to go with their coffee. They have one bite.
Yeah.
I think this is quite different in Vietnam from what I see. Like this is quite a occasional product that you buy in order to give to someone. Maybe someone that comes to visit Vietnam, you want to give them something special of Vietnam.
Yeah, it's funny how you mentioned that, because I remember since I was a kid, all the chocolates seems like luxury to me. Like whenever I have some relatives, some family coming back from you know, from abroad, I always ask them, you know, you gotta bring chocolate back, and they always do that, you know. So yeah, when I was a kid, I get mad when they didn't bring any chocolate back home. Like I was literally crying. I was like, "Where's my chocolate? Where's my chocolate?" So that was a memory to me that chocolate does not come from Vietnam. Chocolate is something abroad. Chocolate was something that is being brought back, not being grown here. And from recently, this 10 years, I started to see a change, you know, a trend that people are starting to appreciating the chocolate more. But somehow I still feel that this is some kind of a luxury, because the price is not that cheap, right? You know, when you go to a chocolate, like per se, let's say the Cocoa Project here, or even your different chocolate shop, it's not cheap at all. So how do you plan to make people accept this? Do you plan to lower the price, or you plan to make people appreciating the value more, so they think, okay, the price is worth it, kind of thing?
It's a very interesting question, because I would answer it in two ways. So on one way, we do want to be a friendly brand. Like, you know, this is about creating a culture. You don't create a culture only with a few people that are able to afford it. You create a culture if everyone can once in a while enjoy something and say, oh, okay, that's my pleasure of the week, let's say, or this is something that is special, but not special to the point that you won't enjoy it like once a year, like oysters. On the other way, and I think this is beyond Vietnam, this is more like a global realization about chocolate. Like, I think that chocolate should be paid at the right price, so that the farmer at the bottom of the of the value chain also receive the right compensation for their work. Because what I said in Europe, that we have a culture of chocolate, that everyone gets to enjoy chocolate, that everyone has a strong memory about enjoying chocolate. On the other hand, it's because chocolate is too cheap. Like, it's not paid at the right price. Cocoa is not paid at the right price to the farmer. It's blended with too many other sugary ingredients. So there's also a quest to make people realize that chocolate should be enjoyed, but in a responsible way. In a responsible way. Yeah. Yeah, and it's safe, and it's healthy, it's sustainable for the whole supply chain kind of thing. Yeah. We all see that the cocoa fruit, it's being exported as an ingredient, but but the chocolate, the product, the final product, it has not been, familiarized with the locals too much. Why do you think that's a problem? That locals do not value the special quality of the Vietnamese chocolate, right? Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I mean, really, the Vietnamese cocoa production is quite small in the world. I think most of the production of the cacao tree is going to be used in Vietnam. Why the locals wouldn't value it as something special? I think that's something that people can be proud of. I mean, actually, like the Vietnamese chocolate is very sought after in Japan or in very sophisticated markets. It's something to be proud of. So maybe it will grow in the future. Also about the fact that it's local, like to promote, to support the local farmers, and also, in general, have a lower carbon footprint. Is better to make local choices. Yeah, okay, that's right. But how do you think that we can make the Vietnamese people be more proud of our own ingredient kind of thing? Because this has been a problem not only with cocoa, but with many other ingredients as well.
But for cocoa specifically, what do you think that we should do, you know, to inspire people, or even a harsher expression is to educate people to appreciate more?
Well, I mean, in reality, at the beginning, the museum project was exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to explain why, in terms of agriculture, in terms of farming, all these practices are good and things to be proud of. Because really, a Vietnamese cacao plantation is something to be very proud of, compared with what you can see in other parts of the world, where there is deforestation, where farmers are not paid the right price. So actually, Vietnamese cacao is a great example of how sustainable cacao sourcing is possible and how it can be transformed in the same country. So actually, when you enjoy a Vietnamese chocolate here, you're doing I mean, it's much more sustainable for the future. And no, it's a very educated consumer choice, because you pay the right price to the farmer, you choose a local product that has not traveled all around the world, and we enjoy it here. Whereas compared to, let's say, you mentioned chocolate from the US. Yeah. So chocolate from the US comes from cacao probably farmed in Africa. And so the cacao will be in Africa, then will be, let's say, roasted maybe somewhere, maybe let's say roasted there. Yeah. Then it will travel to a grinder, like maybe in Amsterdam or in Malaysia. Else. Then it will go to a chocolate factory in the US, where then it's going to travel again to I don't know, somewhere like Vietnam. Yeah. So by that time, this product has traveled all around the world, emitted a lot of carbon footprints. Is it really necessary when you can enjoy a really good chocolate here?
One last question. A lot of people, when they go out with their friends, they always, I wouldn't say usually, but they always choose coffee. Like in Vietnam, we don't ask people to go out. We ask people, hey, đi uống cà phê không? we don't go, hey, đi chơi không? So, in your journey of making chocolate more familiar with for everybody, you think there's any like difficulties there, because people always choose coffee, you know, rather than any other things? What do you think?
It is true that there is a strong coffee culture in Vietnam, whereas the chocolate culture is still to be built. So it is a challenge, and that's why here we were even struggling to define what type of shop it should be, because it's not the chocolate shop, or it's not what people will imagine of a chocolate shop, because chocolate shop is about a lot of products everywhere and not necessarily the space where you can enjoy it. Or I mean, it's not a coffee shop either, because we are not about coffee, we're about chocolate. So it's a place where you can be here and enjoy. You can meet your friend, to have a chocolate moment. Yeah. You know,
I even saw somebody having a meeting, you know, when they have a big group of meetings, they bring their laptop here to work even. So it's really like a coffee shop here kind of thing. People can spend their time here with friends and family, maybe, or even by themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, for us, it's about being a lively place. Like, it's a place where people can relate to. It's something familiar. And where they can discover our products. So we do look like a coffee shop, but in there you'll have options for chocolate drinks, for example. So so in the group, some will choose the usual café soda, but some will go for our classic dark chocolate, and it's something nice to see. And slowly we see some customers, they enjoy to have the snack in between them when they're having a moment. So
So you started to see a change of the customer to go in here, and even if they go with a cup of coffee, they still have a little bit of snacks from chocolate, and that's happy for you.
Yeah, exactly. I really love seeing this inside the shop.
Well, like you just said, that this place is built like a coffee shop almost. But do you think that it's taking chocolate out of the spotlight? Meaning that, you know, why don't you build this shop that looks like more of a chocolate factory kind of thing? Do you think that so you're trying to make chocolate more familiar with people, But why are you building this thing, this shop, like a coffee shop, but not like a chocolate shop? If that makes sense.
It's a good question. Actually, when you say about the factory, like we do like to show how we make chocolate, so that's why our kitchen is open. So when you can come here, you can see our team working on the chocolate. Now, it does look like a coffee shop, and the reason why is a chocolate shop in everyone's imagination is a lot of product displayed, and you just go there in order to buy your chocolate and then leave. So it's not a lively place, and when people just come and leave, you don't have the time to make them, become part of their life. Because you're just a destination shopping. So let's say that you do a chocolate shop with just shelves and the product, which would be what chocolate shop looks like.
The difference. I usually go to chocolate shop, in the mall, kind of thing. Where they sell it on the shelf, like you said, and it's really quick. When you go in, you go out, you pick what you want, you go out, you pay, and then that's it. Yeah, you don't sit down here, you don't work on your laptop, you don't work on your sewing projects, all of that. Okay, so is that why the reason behind that you want to make people sit down for a little bit longer and starting to appreciate the chocolate, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like we are not about creating a shop where people just come and leave. It's about creating moments. So moments besides just I sell you my product and then you go buy it somewhere else. It's about you will spend time, discover new things, maybe see that there's a class happening there, maybe sometimes some talks or other events. So it's larger than a typical chocolate shop.
Okay. Well, chị Linh, good luck on your journey with your mission, chocolate cho mọi người. But after today, after sitting down, talking to you, hearing you share all your story, and then taste all your delicious chocolate, I'm for sure that chocolate is for me. Chocolate là cho em rồi. Thank you, chị Linh. Thank you, everybody.